Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. This is, well, one of these is the thing that was on the bench the other day. I said don't worry about it, we'll talk about it later. There's now two of them on this bench, two separate pieces here. And I wanted to talk about this. These are legs. These are two legs that I've glued up. Two beefy, they're currently 3" by 3". They're going to get reduced down to 2.5" by 2.5". These are going to be the legs for my new kitchen island. This is just glued up maple, skip planed and glued. I wasn't super, I didn't go hard on like making these perfect mates because it's going to be painted anyway, so I'll use filler if I have to. I just wanted to get them together, but that's not what I want to talk about. I mean, I do want to talk about this, and maybe we will talk about this in the future. But what's more important is I've now spent over the last few days, 5 or 6 hours down here, and I was able to do that with zero back pain. I mean, going forward, when I say no back pain, what I really mean is I have arthritis, and oh well, like that's just nothing you can do about that, right? But the back pain that I've been having, gone. And that's great because for the past year, I haven't done much of anything down here. I haven't done much of anything, period, for a year. Yeah, like almost a full year because of my back pain. And it felt weird because I'm at a point in my life where I suddenly enjoy doing things. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but when you're a person who's struggling with mental health issues, it's particularly depression and anxiety, having the desire to do things is always there. There's always, like, I think people kind of look at depressed people and just say, well, they're lazy or whatever. That's not really true. The fact is, even in my darkest days, I still wanted to do things. I was still like, oh man, I want to do this thing. I want to do this thing. I just never would. Because getting the energy to do it or battling myself to accept that when I do it, I'm not going to be good at it or whatever, those were like impossible challenges. The weird part for me is this year, I've had the desire to do it, but not the physical capability to do it. I guess I could have come down here and made these earlier in the year. I would have been in pain for a couple of days and I would have had to like fight through it or whatever. And maybe that would have got me to go to the doctor earlier. I don't know. But instead I decided to try to take time to self-heal. That didn't work. I had to go see a doctor, go see a physical therapist, get myself straightened out. And so I've spent a year laying on a couch, reading books, which don't get me wrong, I love reading books. I've read almost 80 this year, I think. I'm definitely over 70. That's a wild amount of books to read in a year. But I enjoy reading, so that's not a big deal. But I've wanted to do this. I've wanted to work on the basement. I've wanted to work on the house. I've wanted to do things. I just haven't been physically capable until now. And it feels really good to come down here and get this project started. This is just the beginning. I need to get these shaped and sized, and then I need to cut. I've got some plywood. I think I'm going to need more plywood that I need to rip. Or not rip, but cut into panels. This is going to be a really simple, just like pocket hole kitchen island. Like there's no reason for me to make special joinery or anything like this. It's going to be 3/4 inch plywood, pocket hole to these legs, some drawers, that kind of thing. So I'm not going crazy on this thing. But it is going to be awesome, right? It's going to be a really nice piece that's going to be way better than what I currently have. And I'm excited to do it. I wish, the biggest scare that I have right now is that piece of plywood. It's 3/4 inch sandy ply that I got at Home Depot. It's not very good plywood. It's better than like contractor grade plywood, but it's pretty splintery, which again, I'm painting this, so I don't care that much. I can use body filler on the whole thing if I have to. And I might just do it anyway, because when we painted M's desk, Malia's desk, anyway, when we did Malia's desk 6 years ago or 7 years ago, it's the same plywood that I used on that project, but I didn't prime it, and whatever the weird tropical hardwood veneer is kind of splintery, and it just didn't turn out really well. So I'll probably sand the heck out of this, and I might use a filler primer on it and sand that before I paint it, because it just didn't turn out great. But my biggest scare back-wise is moving that piece of plywood and then cutting it. I need to cut panels out of it. I do not have a track saw. I do have like a homemade track for my little circular saw. I might need to make a straight edge or something for the big circular saw and figure out a way to wrestle it so that I can cut it safely by myself, because I'm not going to be doing it on the table saw. What I'll probably end up doing is cutting it to smaller panels, and then like oversized panels, and then truing it up on the table saw. I've done that in the past. That works pretty well. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I knew some people saw it and were like, oh, what's the secret project? It's not really secret. Just it's not really interesting, I don't think. Is it interesting to you? Let me know. I haven't filmed any of this. I don't plan on filming it, but maybe I don't know. I don't know. What should I do with this project? You let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are currently learning 19 quick tricks to feel better instantly, and we are on number 12. Walk away from energy vampires. Energy vampires are people who always have something to complain about or a problem that needs to be fixed, and they drain your energy by making you listen to them go on and on about their problems or by giving them attention. I call these people professional victims. They're the people who just never take accountability for their own selves and are just constantly, the world is constantly screwing with them instead of just accepting that maybe they're the problem. And yeah, walk away from them. It's the best way to deal with them. You don't need them in your life.